Today, we're taking you into the world of public speaking and communication, all through this really fascinating interview with Yasir Khan.
Yeah, and he's doing some amazing work. He's a coach who helps CEOs and top executives really find their voice, get up on stage. And this is what I find so interesting, his path to becoming this public speaking guru, not what you'd expect.
That's what caught my eye, too. This isn't your typical, born speaker kind of story.
Right. I mean, he even describes himself as, and I quote, cripplingly insecure at one point. Hard to believe considering what he does now.
Oh, it's impossible to imagine. But it just shows you can learn this stuff, communication skills. They're not just for the naturally gifted. So walk us through those early years. What shaped, his relationship with speaking up in the first place?
Well, Yasir talks about a tough childhood. Learned to stay quiet, avoid conflict, especially with his dad.
Makes sense.
And then, get this, teachers criticize him for giving wrong answers in class. So, speaking up. Totally linked to bad experiences for him.
Oof, yeah, those early patterns, man, they stick with you.
They really do, it's true.
So how does someone go from avoiding speaking to, coaching others to do it well? How do you make that leap?
There's this one moment, this Model UN conference. It really seemed to, light a fire under him,
Was he presenting or something?
He was excited about it, all dressed up, even hoping to impress some girl.
Yeah.
Right? But when it came time to actually share his thoughts, total freeze.
Oh, I've been there. The worst.
It gets worse. Later, he sees a comment on a photo from this event. It says, the one conference where Yasir didn't speak. Brutal, right?
Publicly called out like that. Ouch.
But it was a turning point. Kind of like you can't hide anymore.
Gotta face it head on.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So he starts, devouring YouTube videos, anything to help him communicate better.
Makes sense. YouTube to the rescue.
Right. So his parents, trying to help, send him to Malaysia. Figure, new environment, he'll come out of his shell. Backfired. Big time.
New country, language barriers. If you're already socially anxious.
It's a recipe for disaster. Comes back home, no job prospects, and his parents, who'd sacrificed a lot, they're pushing him to figure things out.
Oh, man, I bet that was tough.
He even tries a bank job for 2 months. Calls it the worst experience of his life.
Not exactly known for being, super social, those bank teller gigs.
Right. So, last-ditch effort. The family sends him to Canada, Kamloops, British Columbia.
Okay, how does that help?
He gets there, feels lost, doesn't even know how to make friends, which is, well, kind of ironic given what happens next.
All right, you're killing me. Spill it. What happens?
He's Googling how to make friends in Kamloops. Desperate, right? And up pops Toastmasters.
Toastmasters? You mean public speaking Toastmasters?
A one and only. Of course, Yasir's picturing something completely different. People making toasts, maybe some, grilled cheese involved.
That's amazing. So he walks into this.
And he sees the words public speaking and immediately tries to bolt. Classic Yasir. But as he's about to make his escape, this woman, Karen, spots him. Super kind, but she basically nudges him on stage. Introduce yourself. Oh, no. New country, terrified of speaking, and he has to do this. Recipe for disaster, right? He even admitted later he blacked out, doesn't remember a single thing he said. So mortified, he's like, that's it. I'm never leaving the house again. Yeah. Except maybe for classes, obviously.
I've been there. Humiliation is the worst. So wait, what happened? Did he just slink out of there?
Here's where Karen is amazing. She gets up there right after him, and she tells everyone, hey, listen up. It's his first day in Canada, first time speaking publicly. Let's give him some love.
Oh, it's so great of her.
Total game changer. Suddenly, it's okay to be vulnerable. Safe space,
Wow, the small gestures can be huge, huh?
No kidding. He talks about it all the time. That was the moment, the first time someone validated him for something meaningful.
I'm getting chills, so it's like a switch flipped then.
Totally. Wins the speaking contest, starts coaching other students,
yeah,
and boom, here we are.
What a story. See, sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you, right? So Toastmasters to CEO coaching, though. How'd that happen?
Well, you got to look at how he creates content. Remember, 0 to 3 million followers in 2 years.
That's insane. What's the secret sauce?
It's almost the opposite of what you'd think. Today, everything's so polished, right? But he describes his process as, and I quote, ADHD-driven.
So no strategy, just vibes.
Basically. Forget content calendars, all that. It's more like idea, phone, record, post. He'd film 25 short videos a day, just bang them out. Focused on instant value, not perfection.
That's really interesting in a world of super produced content. Clearly worked though.
It did. And it's a good lesson. Quality matters, sure,
Hmm.
but showing up consistently, that's huge, especially online.
Just putting yourself out there.
And even with the quick videos, you see his public speaking knowledge shining through. He knows how to hook people.
He talks about negative framing a lot, right?
Oh, big time. He loves those negative hooks. Never start a speech like this, or the biggest mistake speakers make. Instant attention.
It's true. You see that and you're like, wait, what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He even told this funny story. He's at a seminar, tells the audience, never take notes with a pencil. Everyone freaks out. And he admits he had no reason, just testing a hook.
That's amazing. Playing on that fear of missing out, I guess.
Totally. He also talks about borrowing credibility, using well-known figures like, oh, I don't know, T. Jobs.
His Steve Jobs video, breaking down that iPad launch, right? That one has like 45 million views.
Exactly. He shows how Jobs announces the price, the pauses. It's masterful.
And you know, it's funny, even if you don't care about iPads or Steve Jobs, the way he breaks it down is fascinating.
That's the thing. He makes it entertaining, AD valuable,
Yeah.
storytelling humor.
A little scrappy, but in a good way. Authentic.
100%. Which, by the way, is something he credits to stand-up comedy.
Wait, what? Stand-ups?
Yeah. He wanted to make his content even more engaging, plus conquer that fear of bombing.
Talk about facing your fears head on.
Right. And he learned. The funniest comedians, often the least polished,
Ah,
just being themselves.
totally. It's that connection you make. Being real.
And that's Yasir to a T. Vulnerable, makes mistakes, lets his personality show,
Yeah.
and it works.
So stand-up comedy, huh? That's got to be like communication boot camp, right? But what about like the nuts and bolts? Did he share any tips on actually crafting a good message?
Oh yeah, tons. One thing he's big on, boiling your message down to its essence, especially for speeches, presentations, all that. Calls it the one-sentence rule.
Okay, love a good rule. Break it down for me.
Basically, imagine your audience forgets everything else. What's that one sentence you want stuck in their heads?
Oh, that's good. Forces you to get real clear on your point.
Exactly. It's that sticky phrase that sticks with them. Think JFK, right? One small step for man. Iconic.
Totally. You might not remember the whole speech, but that line, history. So, you've got your one sentence. How do you make sure it lands?
Structure, my friend. Yasir's all about this framework. PRP. Point. Reason, point.
Right, I'm listening.
Keep it simple. State your point. Give the reason, explanation, whatever. Then, bam. Hit it with that point again.
Beginning and end, same idea, got it.
And he uses this hilarious example talking about like dinner. Instead of roast chicken, it's, I had roast chicken last night. Great source of protein, easy to make.
Yeah.
So yeah, roast chicken, it's my go-to.
See, I'd actually listen to that guy talk about roast chicken, though. It's convincing.
Right. That repetition just works. Makes you
Mm.
sound more confident too, like you've thought it through, even if it's just dinner.
And speaking of confidence, what about body language? Because Yasser's big on that, right? Especially in
Yeah.
social situations.
Huge. He loves Joe Navarro, the ex-FBI guy, body language expert.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So Navarro's thing is looking at comfort, discomfort. And Yasser uses that a lot.
Makes sense. We're quick to judge a gesture, but there might be a million reasons for it.
All the time. Crossed arms, maybe they're cold, not closed off,
Yeah. Or someone's tapping their foot, it's like, ooh, nervous. But maybe they just got to move.
Right. Yasir talks about how he's always tapping his leg. It's just his ADHD, the energy's got to go somewhere.
So we should all maybe chill out a bit on judging every little thing.
100%. And on that note, another great takeaway from Yasir, it's okay to not be on all the time. He's big on what he calls self-filtering.
Self-filtering, I like it. Tell me more.
Give yourself permission to piece out of conversations, events, whatever. If they're draining you, you don't have to force it.
Protecting your energy.
Exactly. He even tells the story. I accidentally went to a meditation class for new moms. Read the description wrong.
Oh, no.
Only dude in a room full of babies. His point is, sometimes you end up in the wrong room, and it's fine to leave.
I gotta find your people. All right, before we wrap up, Yasir's take on confidence.
It's a bit different, right?
It's great. It's not about being loud or knowing everything. It's about truly believing in what you're saying, whether it's like a core value or even just the order of your words.
Owning it, yeah. And to project that, even when you're nervous, have go-to answers ready. Like, tell me about yourself, that question.
The worst.
Instead of panicking, you've got something prepared, clear, concise.
Takes the pressure off.
Totally. And part of that is knowing your value proposition, right? Yasir says everyone needs a positioning statement, like a movie tagline, just for you.
Love it. Okay, last thing. I got to bring up the Shannon Klingman story because It gets me every time.
Oh, the Lumi deodorant story. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's about believing in yourself, but also people believing in you, even when you don't.
Totally. Yasir almost sabotaged that whole thing.
Right.
Quoted her this crazy low price, almost like he didn't think he was worth it.
And she saw right through that.
Right. She's like, nope, you're worth more. And look what happened. That belief, it changed everything. It's a good reminder that we all need that sometimes. Someone to remind us of our own potential.
It's a powerful story. And, I think that's a great place to leave it. This whole deep dive into Yasir's journey, it's inspiring, funny, and it gives you so much to think about.
For sure. From crippling security to coaching CEOs and everything in between.
It just goes to show you, communication skills, they're not some magic gift. They can be learned, honed, even if you start from zero. So to everyone listening, what's your story? What do you want to say? Go out there and share it.